It's a tune-up for tournament time on Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops. The OVAC 4A champion Indian Creek Redskins taking on the OVAC 5A runners-up, the John Marshall Monarchs. Live from the John Marshall Fieldhouse in Moundsville, West Virginia. Rob Metzger along with Tanner Mounts getting set for this regular season finale for Indian Creek. Monarchs with two more regular season games. As for these keys to the game, the Redskins, they want to calm the storm. Riley Storm, the senior standout for John Marshall, averaging 21 points per game. Want to rebound the basketball, and Steve F. also wants to limit those turnovers. For head coach Brock Melko and the John Marshall Monarchs, they want to limit Cadence Walker, the OVAC 4A championship MVP. Also, don't give up those offensive rebounds, and, of course, execute the half-court offense. Those are your keys to the game for this matchup between the Monarchs and the Redskins. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at the starting lineups and get you set for tip-off. It's John Marshall. It's Indian Creek live on Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops.
Is it time to turn your house into the home of your dreams? From bathroom and kitchen remodels to new flooring, drywall, and custom carpentry, QCR Construction and Renovation is ready to make your dreams a reality. Contact QCR today to schedule your free estimate.
You seen that life insurance thing I got in the mail?
It's over there.
The recycle bin. I sent for this.
You're buying life insurance now? Have you been to the grocery store lately? The last thing we need is another bill.
That's exactly why we need life insurance. It can help pay those bills. Funeral costs, too. Take a look at this. It costs pennies a day.
That's right. Rates for Colonial Penn Life Insurance start at $9.95 a month. That's 35 cents a day. And this is one bill you know will never go up. A lifetime rate lock guarantees it. Your rate is guaranteed, and so is your acceptance. That makes applying quick and easy. There are no medical questions, no physical exam. Since you can't be turned down, we don't ask about your health. Call for more information and your free gift today.
Call 1-800-253-3556 for free information and a free beneficiary planner. That's 1-800-253-3556. 1-800-253-3556.
I'm Jamie Bordas. At Bordas & Bordas, we don't just get great results for our clients, we also understand the 21st century. Your time is valuable, and you may find it hard to schedule an appointment with a lawyer. That's why you can go to our website and start the process 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll review your initial inquiry and get back to you quickly. Check it out at bordaslaw.com.
Bordas and Bordas, fighting for justice.
From bathroom and kitchen remodels to new flooring, drywall, and custom carpentry, QCR Construction and Renovation is ready to make your dreams a reality. Contact QCR today to inquire about our current career opportunities.
The Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops is sponsored by Bordas and Bordas, WVU Medicine, American Consolidated Natural Resources, The Health Plan, and Presley Hearing Center.
(17-4) Indian Creek, 13-6 John Marshall. Rob Metzger along with Tanner Mounts, and Tanner has the Indian Creek starting lineup for head coach Steve F.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. It's Cadence Walker that will be leading the way for the Redskins, 19.6 points per game. But Gabby Taylor at the one will be the catalyst for the offense, over 6 assists there. And then Gracie Riley Sadler, the other senior, and Gracie Kleinsmith round out your starting 5.
Two seniors in that starting lineup for Steve F's squad as they are introduced here to the crowd on this Thursday evening. And John Marshall, head coach Brock Melko, Riley Storm, the West Virginia Wesleyan signee, averaging 21 points per game, 9 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. She leads the way for this Monarch lineup. Also in that starting lineup, Kaylin Reese, averaging about 12 points per game, 7 boards. She is a junior. Another senior, Kaylee White, 11 points per game. She is 3 3-pointers away from 100 in her career. Another great outside shooter for the Monarchs. Paisley Babachek in the post, 5.5 points per ball game, 7 boards. And Mason Inklin, 4 points a ball game, and she draws the big assignments to be the primary defender on Cadence Walker. our officials for this matchup, Michael Potts, Jim Schmidt. Also, Laziviak will be blowing the whistle for this one here inside the John Marshall Fieldhouse. And we got two quality teams on a Thursday night looking to continue to build momentum towards tournament time.
Yeah, you got two teams with two good records. Indian Creek 17-4 this season, and John Marshall with 13-6. And we've been talking about it in this one, Rob. Only 4 teams have beaten John Marshall this season. Steubenville has beaten them 3 times, and it's been an impressive combined record of 69-5 in those 4 games.
Yeah, 2 teams that are still undefeated have defeated John Marshall, including in their last game on Monday when they took on number 1 ranked in 4A, George Washington. Got a 21-5 hole in that one, but battled back, lost 50-37. Another loss to undefeated Greenbrier East and Morgantown in the game played here at the Fieldhouse. So they have played some outstanding competition, as had Creek. The Creek's losses, the teams with a combined record of 70-16. So we're getting set for tip-off. Paisley Babachek and Cadence Walker at center courts, and we are underway here at the John Marshall Fieldhouse. Mason Inkland with the basketball. Gets it inside to Babachek, backs down the defender. Up, too strong, and Riley Sadler averaging a double-double, gets the rebound. Gabby Taylor now to Cadence Walker.
That's going to be a key in this game. How does Indian Creek handle the size of the Monarchs?
Walker spins around the defender, pulls up just inside the lane, back iron, no good. Rebounded by the Monarchs, and it is Haley White with the rebound. Monarchs looking to get off to a good start in this one, and that will help inside the Babachek for the early bucket. And the Monarchs strike first, leading 2-0.
We just talked about it. That's very apparent early that that's going to be the focus here for John Marshall. Pound the ball inside. You have the advantage in the paint.
Definite size advantage for the Monarchs in this one. Nice look inside. Kleinsmith is fouled, going to the buckets for our first foul call of the ball game.
Indian Creek loves to do that. They love back cuts. They like to drive, and I mentioned it coming in here. Gabby Taylor, watch the vision here in the bounce pass to a good look. Draw the foul. That's going to be the key for Indian Creek, is that ball movement, and everything runs through the senior Taylor.
American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw stripe for Gracie Kleinsmith, who hits the first, misses the second, but the rebound hauled in by Cadence Walker. 2-1 early on. Walker gets into the lane, uses the right hand, up and in for 2, and Cadence Walker in the scorebook, and the Redskins with the 3-2 lead. White driving to the bucket, gets there and scores it, lays it in. Kaylee White, her first bucket. It's 4-3 early on here.
And she comes in this game 3 threes short of 100 in her career.
An impressive milestone whenever she may reach that. (4-3) early on in your Bordas and Bordas score bar. Drops it in. Walker.
Talking to Coach F before this game for Indian Creek, he said they have not played a team that runs man defense since the Buckeye 8 championship against Union Local. He was very interested to see how his team would handle it, and so far they're getting to the rim early.
Babachek over to White. White inside to Riley Storm. Storm, tough angle, hits the rim, and the Redskins corral the rebound.
They have to wall up on Storm like they did right there. She won't miss many around the basket.
Averaging 21 points per ball game. Kleinsmith back out to Taylor. Taylor drives it, pulls up in the lane. Off the mark, rebounded, pulled in by Reese. Kaylin Reese pushing the pace. Knocked away by Kleinsmith, out of bounds. It'll stay with John Marshall. 5:22 to go here, first quarter.
That to me is the biggest key of this game, is the speed. One team, John Marshall, wants to go fast, and an Indian Creek wants to slow it down as much as they possibly can. That could be a big tell here early as the Monarchs looking to run.
Inkland gets the ball in to White, shorts, battle for the board underneath. They get it back. Outside, 3 in the air. Won't fall, but again, in the paint, the rebound is good for Kaylin Reese.
The size for John Marshall again. It's led to 4 points here already.
6-5. Back and forth we go early on. Gabby Taylor Thought about the pass inside, gets it over to Gracie Wiley. Back up top to Taylor. Over in the corner to Wiley. Guarded by Riley Storm. Taylor, couple dribbles, pulls up, skips it over, almost deflected. They'll get it back up top to Cadence Walker. 4:33 and counting here in the opening quarter. Ball knocked away. Stolen away. Inkland forced a turnover, and here is the bucket for Kaylee White. White has 4. It's 8-5 Monarchs.
John Marshall making things very difficult for Cadence Walker. They are defending her way out past the three-point line. No help responsibilities when you're defending her.
Mason Inkland drawing that. Sticks with her, despite the try for the screen there by Riley Sadler. Kleinsmith. Pulls up, kicks it back out. Taylor into the lane, kick out. Kleinsmith, 3 in the air. Good. Gracie Kleinsmith knocks it down.
And Taylor's just so calm when she beats her defender, looking for her teammates. She finds one open in the corner there.
We're tied at 8 here in the opening quarter. Reese.
This is the pace that Creek wants to play at. They want everything in the half court and slow it down. They thrive in low-scoring games.
Over in the corner to Inkland. Inkland drives it, has a pass to the basket, and she scores. Mason Inkland's first bucket of the ball game. It's 10-8 John Marshall. 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Taylor over to Walker. Walker out to Sadler. She'll let the 3-ball fly. Back iron. Rebounded by Storm. And Storm will push the pace. Storm to the bucket. In traffic, won't go. Redskins with the basketball.
He won't stay cold for long. We've both seen it, Rob. She'll get going at some point.
Timeout called by Steve F. And the Redskins will take it with them. 2:35 to go in the opening quarter. John Marshall leading 10-8.
I'm Colton McKivitz, Ohio Valley native, WVU alumni, and pro ball player. Someone who's pushed my body to its limits. I know the importance of quality recovery. WVU Medicine offers strong, community-based physical therapy programs to help people regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Whether you're bouncing back from surgery or recovering from an injury, their teams are available at locations across the Ohio Valley to build a customized care plan just for you. WVU Medicine, quality care, close to home.
Whether you're a chocolate lover, a pet lover, or a foodie at heart, you'll find something to love around every corner. Wine and dine your Valentine with delicious dining options perfect for a romantic night out. From sports lovers to shoe lovers and everyone in between, the Highlands has it all. Pamper your Valentine with a spa day. Find the perfect jewelry gift and spend the day browsing, shopping, and falling in love all over again.
John Marshall and head coach Brock Melko leading the Indian Creek Redskins 10-8. Steve F. called the timeout. Indian Creek basketball. Steve F., 8th season. Head coach of the Redskins. Got another district title last year. They went on a tournament run after a regular season loss to John Marshall, 45-40. That was last season. We'll see how this year goes. Here are the Redskins down 2. Taylor with the basketball back out. Taylor again handles it in the lane, turn around, won't drop, rebounded by Riley Storm, and Storm pushing the pace up ahead to Kaylee White. White backs it out, skip it a little too strong, looking for Mason Inkland, out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Redskins.
That's a great job there by Creek, just getting below the basketball. When a team wants to run in transition, you got to get beneath the basketball, defend the basket. They do there, cut it off, and you force teams to then speed up even more, and you force bad passes like that.
10-8 Monarchs. Redskins with the basketball. Walker guarded again closely by Mason Inkland and deflected by Riley Storm out of bounds. It'll stay with Indian Creek. 147 on your Bordas and Bordas scorebar. Taylor. Leading the way in OVAC 4A in assists this year with about 6 per ball game. Walker with the basketball. Again, guarded by Inkland. Tough shot, won't drop. Rebounded by Reese. Reese pushing the pace up court. Reese kicks it out. Lob inside for Storm. She gathers, gets it back out. Here's White for 3. It's off the mark, and she tracks down her own miss. White has it knocked away, however, and the Redskins with the basketball down by 2. 1:10 to go and rolling here in the opening quarter. Redskins beat Oak Glen in the OVAC 4A title game on Saturday in comeback fashion. Here's Sadler for 3. Too strong. Kleinsmith tracks down the rebound. Guarded closely in the corner. Reset back up top to Taylor. 50 seconds to go in this opening frame. Redskins also played Oak Glen on Monday and defeated them as well. Kleinsmith trying to go baseline, knocked away by White, out of bounds. It'll stay with Indian Creek. A couple substitutions. Babicek back in. Nora Schock into the lineup. Reese will take a break. A look here on the replay. Knocked out of bounds.
That's just great defense. She's saying it went off the foot. It kind of looked like it did, but good pass in there to Sadler.
Riley Sadler finishes with 30 seconds to go.
I just back up at 10. This has been a back and forth great first quarter here, Rob.
I'd say 2 very evenly matched teams going head-to-head here late in the regular season. Nia Miller into the ball game as well for the Monarchs. Here's Schock. Gets it to White. White. Back out. Schock. Short on the 3. Deflected out of bounds. It's going back to Indian Creek with 3.4 seconds on the clock.
Enough time for about 2 or 3 dribbles if you take them quickly.
Walker will inbound it. Have to go the length of the court. Taylor lets it fly. 1 quarter in the books. And we are knotted up at 10. We'll be back with the second quarter from the John Marshall Fieldhouse after this timeout.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day while helping to fight cancer.
Sign up now for the Pat Campbell Fighting Cancer 5K, presented by Crossroads North River.
Get ready for a fun, faith-filled race walk event along the scenic Ohio River Saturday, March 14th in Toronto.
All proceeds benefit patients with unmet needs throughout the Ohio Valley.
Register today by scanning the QR code on your screen or at fightingcancer5k.com. Families undergoing cancer treatments can also apply for financial assistance on the website.
Start your weekend with a slam on Fox College Hoops Friday. Big-time rivalries. These 2 teams, they don't like each other. Old scores to settle. You'll let it go. And new chapters to write. Exclamation point. Every Friday. All season long. Big time to the bucket. Oh! Michigan State, Wisconsin on Fox College Hoops Friday.
Monday night just got a whole lot better with News 9 Sports on the go. Live at 7 Ranges Entertainment.
Join Bill Phillips and Don Sloan for sports talk, half-price bowling, axe throwing, mini golf, and arcade games.
Join us here at 7 Ranges or watch us live on Fox 9 and the WTOV 9 digital platforms. It's Monday Night Mayhem with News 9 Sports on the go. Monday nights at 7 live on Fox 9 and the WTOV 9 digital platforms.
The Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops is sponsored by Bordas and Bordas, WVU Medicine, American Consolidated Natural Resources, The Health Plan, and Presley Hearing Center.
We're tied at 10, headed to quarter number 2 now on Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops.
Yeah, Monarchs got to find a way to get their best player, Riley Storm, going offensively. 21 points per game. Felt like she didn't touch the ball much in the first quarter. Got to find ways to get her looks.
She's the only Monarch who has not scored in that opening quarter. And we're tied up at 10. Redskins with the basketball. Taylor. Kick it back out. Wiley over to Taylor in the corner. Guarded by Riley Storm. Of course, Storm can also affect the game so many other ways, even if she's not scoring. Makes it very tough. Yeah. Standing at 6 foot tall. Got her hand in there, knocked it away, but Wiley gets it back. Nice pass. Taylor. The shot won't drop, so the Monarchs with the basketball headed the other way. Quick look inside. Reese up and in. Nice pass. Good finish.
He's one of the X factors in this game. 11 points per game, 7 rebounds. If the Monarchs can get her going with a duo of her and Storm, it becomes difficult.
Knocked away by Babicek. Knocked away again. Here is White. White driving to the bucket. Stops, turns. It's fouled. We get Walker on the first, her first. 6:45 to go here in quarter number 2.
I gotta say, I'm impressed with Creek's ability to stop the transition. I know they fouled on that shot there, but you didn't allow anything easy. You know, the Monarchs had numbers coming down the floor, and they weren't really able to produce anything that was super wide open there. I know you fouled, but you don't allow an easy basket, and they've done a good job with that here in the first half.
Kaylee White hits the first for the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw stripe. Second one won't fall, and Cadence Walker comes away with the rebound. Monarchs a 3-point lead. Redskins with the basketball. Walker.
Size advantage there.
Guarded closely by Norris Shock. They get it back out to Klein Smith. Klein Smith. Pass into the backcourt. Stolen away by Shock. Shock. Goes in hard. Foul on Taylor. And that'll send Norris Shock to the free throw stripe.
It's nothing fancy by John Marshall on the defensive end. There's no kind of press. They're not trapping. It's just an aggressive man-to-man defense that they're up in the face of Indian Creek right now, and they're struggling to handle that.
First shot up and good for Norris Shock. And Mason Inkland checks back in for White. 14-10 is your score. Perfect at the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw stripe for Norris Shock. It's a 5-point lead now for the Monarchs.
5-0 run here to start the second quarter for John Marshall.
Sadler backs down. Babicek gets it. Klein Smith shot off the mark, and here come the Monarchs. Riley Storm pushing the pace. Storm in the lane. Tough shot. She's fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. She's an 87% free throw shooter. We look again on your WVU Medicine replay.
Yeah, she's just so solid with her footwork there. Gets through the jump stop right there. Goes up through the contact. She's hard to stop when she's playing that slow. You can speed her up at times, but when she's under control, she can pick her way through a defense.
First point from the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw stripe. She hits both. The first 2 points for the Monarchs' leading scorer on the season, Riley Storm. Comes in with 1,619 career points.
There's a set for Walker trying to get their top scorer going for Creek.
Run here for the Monarchs, leading by 7. Ball stolen away.
Good help.
Storm
defense.
has it. Storm quickly up court. Pulls up, corner. Reese for 3. Good! And Kaylin Reese knocks down the triple. It's a 10-point lead now at 20-10. A 10-0 start to the second quarter for the Monarchs.
And Creek's got to find something other than Walker. John Marshall is not allowing her to get going. Somebody else is going to have to step up here to help free their top scorer up.
There's Walker. Guarded closely by Shock will get her on the foul. First team foul of this quarter for the Monarchs.
There's an opportunity now for Creek to set something up here on the inbounds play. They haven't gotten too many looks at the basket recently. John Marshall doing a great job of taking away the paint.
Looking for someone to go with it, and a 5-second call. Good work by the Monarchs. As a collective, denying any chance for the Redskins to get the basketball in. So John Marshall basketball on a 10-0 run to start this second quarter at the under 5-minute mark. Inkland over to Storm. 3 in the air. Short. Battle for the loose ball. It'll stay with the Monarchs. Haley Babicek.
That's a great set to get Storm open there. Just a down screen as she runs off of it to open up for 3. And she's not going to miss many open ones. So when you do get a miss from Storm on 3, you got to box out and grab the rebound. Can't afford second chance points off of her misses.
Babicek to inbound. In to White. Tough shot. It drops in, and Kaylee White has 7 points. It's 22-10. 12-0 run to open this quarter for John Marshall. Smith started very closely. Taylor backs it back out over to Sadler. Sadler over to Wiley. Gracie Wiley uses the left hand. We're never going to get a travel call, and it's going to go back to John Marshall here with 4:13 to go in the second half, or second quarter, opening half. I'll get it straight eventually.
Yeah, and Creek's just all out of rhythm right now, and that's what happens when you get pressure like John Marshall is. They're up in your face in the half court. You just feel trapped. There's nothing that you can do, and then you get all out of sorts there, and that's what happened there to Wiley. Just didn't have her feet set, and everyone on Creek right now is just sped up offensively.
And a bit of a size advantage, too, for John Marshall, adding to that defensive pressure. Here's White in the lane. Gets it to Reese. Reese backs it back out up top. Laney Farmer wearing number 23. Here's Reese and a double dribble. So it's going back to the Creek with 3:42 to go in this first half.
These are valuable minutes for the Redskins with Storm on the bench here. As you see the travel here on this end, or the double dribble, just gets it poked free.
Good pressure there by the Redskins, forcing the turnover. Look there on your WVU Medicine replay. 22-10 your score and your Bordas and Bordas scoreboard.
Good
nice
call.
Look. Hooping the foul. Cadence Walker on the feed from Riley Sadler.
It's a great call by Coach F here. They've been denying all game long. So what do? You run a 4-wide little horn set there and just back cut it. You fake like you're going to deny the pass, and Walker goes backdoor for the basket.
Good look on our WVU Medicine replay from the baseline. Look. Chance for a three-point play for Cadence Walker. Shoots about 70% from the free throw line. Chance for the three-point play. Hits it. And it's 22-13 as they stop the 12-0 run to start the second.
Now, can Creek find an answer defensively here? Storm already back in the game.
She goes baseline. Quickly, a couple of Redskins converge. Thought about the three. Gets it back up top to Inkland. Inkland over to Farmer. They hand it off to Kaylee White. Being watched closely. Gets the shot off. Too strong, and Riley Sadler, who averages 11 boards a game, hauls one in there as well. Kayla Crouch in the ball game for the Redskins. And gets the bucket. 22-15.
Creek flipping the script there. Some tempo of their own. As it was an open basket. You got to take advantage of those. And John Marshall gives them to you.
White. Off the mark. Reese with the rebound. Pulls it back out. Inkland quickly over to Farmer. Farmer up top to Reese. Reese. And off to Farmer. Redskins getting up at it defensively as well. We're nearing the 2-minute mark of this opening half. Storm.
That's
Kick
good
out.
defense.
Reese for three, too strong. Rebounded again by Riley Sadler.
Great defensive possession strung together here by Indian Creek. Trying to go on a little run of their own.
Walker, nice take, draws the foul. She'll shoot a pair.
So finally, Walker was able to get by the pressure. You'll see here, this is one of the risks that you run when you pressure is when you get beat, everyone else has to collapse in there and just not at a good angle. You swipe, you miss the ball. She'll go to the free throw line.
Reese whistled for the foul, and Walker hits the free throw. 6-0 run. Crouch, who scored a bucket, will take a seat. And Kleinsmith back into the ball game. One more from the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw line. It's now 22-17. It's a 7-0 run for the Redskins after John Marshall scored the first 12 of this quarter to go up 22-10.
Yeah, good response here by Indian Creek, hanging around in this game.
Reese. Get it to Storm. Storm hasn't had a lot of looks. They make it tough on her there, no good. And the Redskins had the basketball, a chance to pull even closer, less than a minute and a half to go until halftime.
Creek has forced 4 straight misses now on the defensive end.
Taylor.
Cash them off on this side.
Gracie Wiley picks up the dribble, looking for somewhere to go with it. And a timeout call by Indian Creek. We take it with them, 1:09 to go. 22-17, John Marshall in front.
I'm Jamie Bordas. At Bordas & Bordas, we don't just get great results for our clients, we also understand the 21st century. Your time is valuable, and you may find it hard to schedule an appointment with a lawyer. That's why you can go to our website and start the process 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll review your initial inquiry and get back to you quickly. Check it out at bordaslaw.com.
Bordas and Bordas, fighting for justice.
Welcome to basketball country.
Fox Primetime Hoops.
We got one for you tonight.
Saturday night is game night. Different energy.
Listen to this crowd.
Different stakes. Different gravity. Feel the weight of every possession.
Oh
this is where teams learn what they're made of.
He is electrifying.
And players find out if they're built for the moment. Virginia, Ohio State, Saturday, 8 Eastern on Fox.
This will really connect with our younger audience.
Look at this. We have some big puffy clouds moving in, and maybe even some snow.
No. You guys already have the connection going with the kids.
Jeff makes a good point, Myron.
Of course I do. And for the latest weather information for all ages, check out the Snowbird Report, only on WTOV 9.
The Snowbird Report, sponsored by Whiteside Chevy GMC, Presley Hearing Center, and WVU Medicine.
John Marshall leading 22-17. Indian Creek basketball under their own bucket. Gabby Taylor to inbound. And that pass off the mark, out of bounds, to go back to John Marshall. The Monarchs went on a 12-0 run to open the quarter. Creek right now on a 7-0 run.
I think that pass was there for Sadler. She sealed her girl underneath the basket. I don't think she was just ready for the quick bounce pass as it got by her. But the opportunity was there, and they've been there here recently in the quarter for Creek.
Nora Shock inbounded, and here come the Monarchs. Less than a minute to go until halftime. White guarded closely by Kleinsmith. They get it inside to Storm. Storm turns around, floats it up and in for two. First field goal of the ball game for Riley Storm, and she's got 4 points, 24-17 to end that 7-0 run for the Creek.
Patience and good footwork there.
Walker back out. Three-pointer off the mark, rebounded by White. 30 seconds. Pushing the pace. White out to Reese. Reese finds a lane but won't drop. Another rebound for Riley Sadler. 19 seconds to go until halftime.
Has to hold this for one. Done a great job of closing out this quarter. You could cap it off right here.
No good. 1 second and a heave down courts. It's halftime at the John Marshall Fieldhouse. The Monarchs leading 24-17. We'll take a timeout. Be back with a look at what's ahead for these two teams when we return.
Is it time to turn your house into the home of your dreams? From bathroom and kitchen remodels to new flooring, drywall, and custom carpentry, QCR Construction and Renovation is ready to make your dreams a reality. Contact QCR today to schedule your free estimate.
My name is Patrick Storr, and I'm a physical therapist with WTOV Medicine. A lot of people in the Valley have the misconception that you need to leave the area to get a good joint replacement. I've been a physical therapist in the Valley for 32 years. I've rehabbed countless numbers of total knee, total hip replacement patients. The techniques that they use here are just as advanced as anyone else, and the outcomes. That's what I look at as a therapist. The outcomes are just as good, if not better, than anybody else.
Whether you're a chocolate lover, a pet lover, or a foodie at heart, you'll find something to love around every corner. Wine and dine your Valentine with delicious dining options perfect for a romantic night out. From sports lovers to shoe lovers and everyone in between, the Highlands has it all. Pamper your Valentine with a spa day. Find the perfect jewelry gift and spend the day browsing, shopping, and falling in love all over again.
From bathroom and kitchen remodels to new flooring, drywall, and custom carpentry, QCR Construction and Renovation is ready to make your dreams a reality. Contact QCR today to inquire about our current career opportunities.
(24-17), John Marshall leads Indian Creek at the half. Here on Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops, a back-and-forth game. The second quarter featured a pair of runs. We check out the health plan first half highlights and show you how we got to this point. And it is Cadence Walker dropping in the bucket there. Had 4 points in the opening quarter. Going the other way, Kaylee White up and in for 2 of her 7 first half points. And White, a nice look inside to Kaylin Reese, who also scored 7. This game was tied up at 10 after a quarter of play as Reese hits the three-pointer. Now the Monarchs, they went on a run, a 12-0 run to start the second quarter before the Redskins will respond with a 7-0 run. Nice look to Cadence Walker, who has 9 points to lead all scorers. But 24-17 your score at the half. Again, there's your health plan first half highlights. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll look and see what's ahead for Indian Creek as the tournament trail is near.
I'm Jamie Bordas. At Bordas & Bordas, we don't just get great results for our clients, we also understand the 21st century. Your time is valuable, and you may find it hard to schedule an appointment with a lawyer. That's why you can go to our website and start the process 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll review your initial inquiry and get back to you quickly. Check it out at bordaslaw.com.
Bordas and Bordas, fighting for justice.
Weather in the Ohio Valley can change
in an instant. The Severe Weather Team 9 app will help you plan and prepare.
Before weather threatens, access storm tracking, interactive radar, and your futurecast.
Use Follow Me tracking to know exactly how the weather will affect you right where you are.
Every day, every season, every condition on every platform.
Download the Severe Weather Team 9 app today and be prepared before weather threatens.
24-17, your score at the half. John Marshall leading Indian Creek, and the Redskins coming into this game on a bit of a roll. Of course, OVAC 4A champions, a game they won on Saturday against the Oak Glen Golden Bears. Also beat the Golden Bears on Monday, a game you were at, Tanner. And in the OVAC semis, a close battle. They won at Edison, and a victory against Belair followed that loss to Steubenville, which, of course, is a common opponent between these two teams here playing tonight. And a look at what's ahead, well, it's tournament time for Indian Creek after today. They will host Meadowbrook next Thursday in the opening round of the East District Division IV tournament. The winner of that one will get either Minerva or Maysville in round 2, which will be the district semifinals. We'll take a timeout, see what's ahead for the Monarchs, who have a couple regular season games left before tournament time.
a new podcast where timing is everything. It's what separates those who follow culture from those who shape it.
Don't call it a comeback.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, reunited, not on the court, but behind the mic.
We want to bring a lot of worlds together.
And it's just love, man.
Cousins with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Cousins, new episodes every Wednesday.
Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. So girls' days are better. Game days are better. Even Mondays are better. Dupixent's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Some people felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark-colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Do more with less asthma. Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma. Also approved as an add-on treatment for adults with COPD that is not well controlled and with a specific marker of inflammation.
24-17, John Marshall leading Indian Creek. We took a look at what's ahead for Indian Creek. How about John Marshall and the Monarchs? This is a look at the recent games on this run where they had defeated Wheeling Park, Union Local, and University in the OVAC semis, then lost to Steubenville in the OVAC 5A final. Of course, Steubenville 20-1 on the year, and George Washington still undefeated, ranked number 1 in West Virginia 4A. That game was Monday in Charleston. Now look at what's ahead for the Monarchs. Just 2 more regular season games left.
Yeah, Rob, you mentioned it. Just 2 left here to get the season back on track for the Monarchs. On Monday, they'll host Weir, a team they've beaten by 52 points earlier this season. And on Thursday, they'll be at Fairmont Senior. 2 opportunities to hit the postseason rolling.
Absolutely. And the Monarchs, I would expect to be the number 1 seed in the 3A Region 1 bracket. Of course, the Monarchs looking to get to that state tournament in Charleston with head coach Brock Melko in his 12th season as head coach of his alma mater. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, third quarter action. We got a good one here. 24-17, Monarchs leading the Redskins.
Are you a weather nut? A bona fide weather enthusiast? I'm talking, do you have a rain gauge? Would you drop what you're doing to go storm chasing? Then the National Weather Desk is for you.
We saw rapid intensification.
That cold air really piling up to the north.
200 meteorologists explain, experience, and enlighten you about the weather.
This is Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Go beyond the forecast. Watch the National Weather Desk.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day while helping to fight cancer.
Sign up now for the Pat Campbell Fighting Cancer 5K, presented by Crossroads North River.
Get ready for a fun, faith-filled race walk event along the scenic Ohio River Saturday, March 14th in Toronto.
All proceeds benefit patients with unmet needs throughout the Ohio Valley.
Register today by scanning the QR code on your screen or at fightingcancer5k.com. Families undergoing cancer treatments can also apply for financial assistance on the website.
There's nowhere else like the Ohio Valley.
Even the winters are unique.
Severe Weather Team 9 is everywhere and will help you get through it.
More slippery road conditions likely extending into Wednesday morning. We can't change the weather, but we'll keep you prepared.
And look at the conditions. They are absolutely horrific out there on these roadways.
Anywhere you are, wherever you're going to be.
Before the first flakes fly and the roads freeze, trust the Ohio Valley's winter weather experts. Severe Weather Team 9 is everywhere.
The Bordas & Bordas High School Hoops is sponsored by Bordas & Bordas, WVU Medicine, American Consolidated Natural Resources, The Health Plan, and Presley Hearing Center.
24-17, Monarchs in front. Brock Melko's squad with that 7-point lead, as I mentioned, in his 12th year at head coach of his alma mater. Of course, following time as an assistant with the boys program, 17th season overall as a coach after playing a guard position here for the Monarchs, part of a very good John Marshall squad during his high school career. Steve Efton, the Redskins, 7-2 run to close that first half after they saw the Monarchs lead balloon to 12. Got back to a 7-point game as we open up this third.
And they did it on the defensive end, Rob. When you're able to get stops, you can control the pace. And we mentioned at the start of the broadcast that Indian Creek has to slow this game down if they want to have success. They cannot allow the Monarchs to get out and running. So when you can get stops, you can slow the game down and make it go at your pace. That's what they did late in the second quarter. We'll see if you can do it here in the second half.
It'll be Monarch basketball to open up this third quarter, 24-17. Your score. White handles the basketball.
Find some pressure. Creek out and defending now.
Absolutely.
A bit of an adjustment that Coach F might have made at halftime.
Storm. Closely by Wiley now. Gets in the lane. He's going to draw the foul.
That's a good sign for John Marshall as seeing Riley Storm gets to the free throw line to start the second half. Only 4 points in the first half. She's one of the Mountain State's best high school girls basketball players. So if she can see the ball go through like she does right there, she could get rolling here.
First one good from our American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw line. Storm, perfect from there so far. 4 for 4. She has 6 points. 26-17. Gabby Taylor. Walker up to Sadler. Nice look inside to Kleinsmith, who finishes. Gracie Kleinsmith with the bucket. That's got 6.
Great set that you know Coach F drew up at halftime. That's how you break the press there. If they're going to defend super tight, you can go high-low there. If the help side's not there, it wasn't. And it leads to 2 points.
Storm. Deep triple. It's good. Riley Storm, 3-ball, good. It's a 10-point game.
I mentioned it. She sees the ball go through one time, and she can start feeling it. She pulled up from deep there. You cannot let her get going if you're Indian Creek if you want to stay in this basketball game.
Back to a 10-point game. Sadler, guarded by Babicek. Back up top to Cadence Walker at 9 first-half points. Taylor. Thought about the 3. Pulls up. Walker short. Rebounded by Storm. Storm pushing up court. She's going to pull up again. And she hits again. Riley Storm. Back-to-back triples. It's 32-19.
8 points out of the locker room for Storm. Is one of the keys to the game for Creek is to weather the storm. And right now, the storm's a brewing.
Reese forces the turnover, pushes it up court. Kaylin Reese ahead of everyone. Drops it in and the foul. Kaylin Reese with 9. It's 34-19.
There's not much you can do there if you're Wiley. She tried to stay straight up. Just maybe a little bit late getting in front. Leads to the and one. But how about this attack out of the locker room for the Monarchs?
Back iron, no good. Out of bounds. It'll go back to Indian Creek. So Riley Storm with 8 points in this quarter. 10-2 run to open the quarter has opened up a 15-point lead here for the Monarchs. Sadler, 3 in the air. Gets it to go. Riley Sadler from downtown. It's 34-22.
That could open some things up for Creek now. If you can get some other girls knocking down some shots, they'll have to respect and less help.
Inkland drives. Friendly roll. It drops in.
Monarchs 4 for 4 from the field here in the third quarter.
Wiley guarded closely by Kaylin Reese. Backs it back out.
Someone's got to come to the ball and help her.
Timeout called by Steve after call it as well. 5:07 to go in the third. 36-22. We'll be right back.
They're your neighbor, coworker, or significant other. Quietly inspiring, coaching, and lending a helping hand. News 9's Hannah's Heroes. These heroes deserve to be recognized, and I get to tell you about them. Scan the QR code on your screen to nominate special individuals making a big difference in our community. And then be sure to watch News 9 Wednesdays at 5 and 10 p.m. to see Hannah's Hero of the Week.
Sponsored by Trinity Health System. News 9's Jeff Exline is more than the Ohio Valley's weather expert. He's also passionate about cooking.
We're cooking up a storm.
Now you can see a different side of Jeff, cooking up a storm on the WTOV9 YouTube channel. A video podcast series where Jeff takes you on culinary adventures for easy and delicious dishes, special guests, fun, and entertainment. WTOV9 is cooking up a storm on the WTOV9 YouTube channel. Sponsored by West Virginia Northern Community College Culinary Arts Program.
36-22, John Marshall leads Indian Creek here, 5:07 to go, third quarter on your Bordas and Bordas score bar. Rod Metzger along with Tanner Mounts. Indian Creek basketball coming out of the timeout that head coach Steve F. called. Ball deflected off the inbounds. It's Kaylin Reese forcing the turnover, gets the steal. She comes up court quickly. Reese, the junior, kicks it back out. Storm, another deep three. This one off the mark. The Babicek in there for the rebound. Babicek kicks it back out. Three ball in the air for Inkland. Too strong. Battle underneath for the board. Walker comes away with it.
Got numbers.
Walker in the lane. Off to Glassing. Good. Coast to coast for Cadence Walker. She's got 11.
Defense, the offense. That's the key that we've been preaching here for Indian Creek. Got to get stops.
Hoop in the harm. It's Haley White.
Just a straight line dribble to the basket here. A little bit of a hesitation move. She was able to get to the hoop. Great finish there.
First foul on Sadler. Third team foul of this quarter. And 5 team fouls. She'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. White up and in. Completes the three-point play. She's in double figures now with 10. It's 39-24. Taylor walks it up court. Over to Kleinsmith. Kleinsmith. To Wiley. Wiley had 3 big threes in the win against Oak Glen on Monday. Gets it back out to Gabby Taylor. Taylor. Over to Wiley. Reese getting up defensively on her. Stolen away. Almost. Babicek, but Sadler gets it back. Wanted to get it inside, but stolen away by Riley Storm. Here comes Storm. Storm drives, hoop, arm. Riley Storm and one.
She is tough to stop when she gets going downhill. If you look at the WV Medicine replay here, just a little hesitation, get the defender off balance, and then you go through the contact, and she's got the height advantage there and finishes through it.
And she completes the three-point play. And Riley Storm, the big third quarter, it's now 42-24. Going to get a foul called on Inkland. And they 3:36 to go.
They got called for the foul there, but John Marshall's done a great job of denying the back cut, the UCLA cut, if you will. Indian Creek loves to run it. They love to get the ball towards the elbow there and run cuts off of it. And John Marshall's done a great job of opening up and denying. There they get caught with the hook, but
off the inbound's going to draw a foul and go to the line. That'll be Riley Sadler to the free throw stripe.
We've seen that play a couple of times. They missed it on the other end of the floor in the first half. They weren't ready for the pass, but that time Sadler was.
2 fouls on Inkland. She's at the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw line and sinks the first.
73% this season from the charity stripe.
Sadler with 6 points. It's 42-25.
This helps slow the game down now for Creek as well when you get to the free throw line.
And always good when you sink both of them. Sadler with 7 points, 42-26. This game far from over, but John Marshall on a bit of a run again here to start the third.
Now a zone here, a 2-3 look for Indian Creek, trying to switch it up.
White finds Reese on the backside, up and in for two. Kaylin Reese. Reese with 11 points. The three Monarchs in double figures. Reese, White, and Storm, who leads the way now at 15 points. Walker, nice take, and it drops in. Nice touch. Cadence Walker with 13.
Taking matters into her own hands there, just dribbling through. Coach Melko not going to like the defensive effort from his Monarchs that possession.
When you need a bucket, you get it.
Absolutely.
Walker, corner, Storm, three, in and out. Battle for the board and a foul called.
That's the one girl, if you're going to run a 2-3 zone for Creek, that you have to locate on the perimeter. The zone can leave shooters open a lot, but Storm is the one that you're going to have to know where she is at all times, because she's not going to miss many of those looks. But Coach F is choosing to let Storm shoot those because they've been getting attacked in the paint, and that's the pro to the 2-3 zone, is now you limit those inside shots and allow the perimeter ones.
Hand off to Walker. Walker backs it back out. 2.5 to go here in the third quarter. Big pass. Kleinsmith in and out on the three-point attempt. And here comes the Monarchs. Nice look, Reese inside. And the finish by Laney Nia Miller, excuse me, number 13 with the bucket. Nia Miller scores it.
Good deflection there on the other end.
Checking in for Monarchs number 24, Nora Shock.
And nobody just checked Miller on the other end. They were there. Creek was there. They had two girls around her, but nobody really denied the pass coming in.
Inkland takes a seat. Shock into the ball game. 46-28 your score. Gabby Taylor pulls up and hits. Nice touch for Gabby Taylor. Her first points of the ball game. 46-30. And it's great to see Gabby Taylor back out on the court this year. Most of last year with the knee injury. Suffered one as well. Sophomore year. Nice take there by Reese.
Yeah, I've gone through the ACL 3 times myself, twice in high school. It is not just a physical battle that you need to overcome, but a mental one as well. To see her out there in a role now that she's embracing as the facilitator, the passer, it's inspiring to see, because it is tough to do, to come back not just from one, but two separate ones for her.
A little mix up there. Kleinsmith gets to it. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Indian Creek. 48-30. Of course, Taylor, one of just two seniors. Riley Sadler. They are part of 4 OBAC championship winning teams. Deflected by Reese, who has had a nice game defensively. Gets it over quickly. Here's Storm. Nice touch. And Riley Storm's big third quarter continues. She's got 17 points on the game, 13 in this third quarter.
It's a quick release there by Storm as well. She caught it, ready to shoot.
At halftime, you're Indian Creek, you're thinking, we've held her to 4, things are going well, and then she explodes here in the third. Here is Walker, tough take, she'll go to the line.
And Cadence Walker's done a great job here in the third quarter, just taking matters into her own hands. The offense has not been fluid for Creek, and credit John Marshall for that. They've taken a lot away. So you got to give some props to Walker here of just, you're the leading scorer. You got to go find ways to score, and she's done that.
First is good for Cadence Walker. Crouch back in for Indian Creek. Sadler will take a seat with 34.4 seconds on this third quarter clock. Walker's second is good as well. Cadence Walker with 15 to lead the way for the Redskins.
Good chance to hold for one here if you're John Marshall. Grow this lead. Good cut.
Quick look inside of White. White draws the foul. Go to the line.
And everyone always says that you want to hold for one, but when you get a look and an opportunity for a layup, you got to take the points. You'll take that to Coach Melko.
Kaylee White at the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw line. She hits the first. Babich checks back in. Riley Storm will take a seat here with 15 seconds. Make sure that she does not pick up a foul before the end of the quarter. And White hits them both. Kaylee White with 5 points in this third quarter. It's been a big third quarter for John Marshall. 7 seconds on the clock. Taylor, 2 seconds, lets it fly. Off the mark, 3 quarters in the books. It was a 7-point game at the half. It's now a 20-point ball game as we head to the fourth. John Marshall taking control, leading 52-32.
My name is Dr. Mark Hoffbauer, and I'm a foot and ankle surgeon with WVU Medicine. We saw a lot of advances within our profession with regard to how we treated athletes, especially from the surgical techniques like lateral ankle stabilizations and how we fixed fractures in athletes and how the biomechanics of how these people get hurt and how their foot functions. They're aggressive in wanting to get back, and so you can work with them on their protocols to get them where they need to be. So I've always enjoyed that part of it.
The National News Desk is America's News Now.
Impactful news now.
About 30% of fatalities are because of alcohol-related crashes.
From nearly 4,000 local journalists across America.
Locally covered, nationally connected. The National News Desk is America's News Now.
Weeknights at 11 on Fox 9.
Start your weekend with a slam on Fox College Hoops Friday. Big-time rivalries.
These two teams, they don't like each other.
Old scores to settle.
You'll let it go.
And new chapters to write.
Exclamation point.
Every Friday. Bam! All season long.
Big time to the bucket.
Oh! Michigan State, Wisconsin on Fox College Hoops Friday.
The Bordas and Bordas High School Hoops is sponsored by Bordas and Bordas, WVU Medicine, American Consolidated Natural Resources, The Health Plan, and Presley Hearing Center.
To the fourth we go. Indian Creek finding themselves down 52-32 in a game that was 24-17 at the half, but a huge third quarter led by Riley Storm, who now has 17 points in the game. 13 of those coming in the third quarter.
Yeah, speaking to Coach F for Indian Creek before the game, he knew that this would be a tough challenge, but he said these are good heading into the postseason. Great back cut there. It's the same play they ran out of halftime.
It's going to stay with Indian Creek.
Yeah, it's an iffy one.
That's Coach Melko, not so sure about that.
Yeah, a lot of people in this gym aren't so sure about that one.
Quick look in. Sadler.
An opportunity here for Creek just to find something, get some rhythm, and challenge yourself as you get ready to go into the postseason.
Walker with 15 points. Gets it back up to Gabby Taylor. Over to Kleinsmith. Quickly over to Wiley.
And now a zone here by John Marshall on the other end.
Walker corner three. Good. She might shoot John Marshall out of that zone. Hits it.
Yeah, we said in the third quarter that Riley Storm was the girl that you got to locate if you're running a zone. Well, Cadence Walker is the girl that you need to locate if you're John Marshall running a 2-3 zone.
Corner three on the other end, no good, and Walker skies for the board. Hauls it in, 52-35, still 7 minutes to go. Taylor brings it up court for the Redskins.
No help responsibility there. Look at the defense on Walker. Not even worrying about what anyone else on the court is doing. If you're guarding her, your main and only responsibility is to guard her.
Kick back out there to Taylor. Taylor got stuck there with Storm right on her, and a turnover. Monarchs get it back. Storm pushes up court ahead to Inkland. Inkland, couple dribbles, picks it up back out to Storm.
Great job there by Storm. You got a big lead here in the fourth quarter. You don't need to be in any sort of rush.
Screen from Babicek. Pulls it back out. Gets it over to Schock. Schock inside of Babachek. Babachek backs down the defender. Double team comes. Storm's open for three. This one's off. Babachek the rebound. Inklen. Schock inside. Babachek. Sticks with it. Hoop and the foul. And Paisley Babachek, the sophomore, scores it.
And I always like to say that's the basketball gods forgiving you for everything. When you work hard on a possession, they're going to reward you, if you will. And she got rewarded there. She was working hard on the glass, getting her own misses, getting other misses, pinning girls down, getting position. And she gets rewarded with the and one.
Babachek, a shot put state champ last spring, knocks down the free throw from the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw stripe, back to a 20-point game, 55-35. And she gets her hand on it, forces the turnover. Here's Inklen, over to Storm. Deep three. Won't drop. Monarchs retain possession. Reese for three. Too strong back iron. Battle for the board underneath. Babachek. Gonna call jump ball.
How about the couple of minutes here from Babachek, though? I mean, she has been working hard. She's going to sub out here, but she was
great hustle.
Really hitting the offensive boards. And got the steal on the other end as well.
At 5 points on the game, just around her average 5.5 points per ball game. Storm kicks it back out. Inklen for three. That one's off, and White gets it. Kick it back out. Looking to work some more clock. 5:26 and rolling on your Bordas and Bordas scorebar. Inklen over to Reese.
John Marshall, or excuse me, Indian Creek just looks tired.
Too strong.
They typically only play 6 girls, so that was one thing that Coach F mentioned was, that's why they like to slow it down, is because they are not very deep. You can see it here. The energy level has dropped, and that's probably what's led to a lot of these offensive boards.
Walker.
She's still going.
Drops another one in. She's at 20 for the game. And it's 55-37. White. Over to Inklen. See her on the softball field this spring. Reese, nice take. Hopping in for two. Kaylin Reese. She'll be one of the girls back next year. The 5'10 junior scores it again. She's got 15 points, 57-37. Janiah Zook in the lineup as well here for John Marshall. Babachek took a seat.
If the Monarchs want to get to Charleston, they're going to need some big play from Reese like that down the stretch and in the postseason.
You get a good balance. You got 3 girls in double figures. White, Reese, and Storm. Nice take by Sadler. She draws the foul.
Yeah, that's what you got to do for your Indian Creek. That's the counter here. Go look on the replay. The pressure, if you can just get by, take your time, a little bit strong on the rebound, or excuse me, on the shot, but good patience there to work your way all the way to the right block.
Look on our WVU Medicine replay. The foul on Zook, who had checked in, as we mentioned, for Babachek. First free throw, no good.
That ends a streak of 7 made from the line for Indian Creek.
Second one is good for the senior Riley Sadler, who has 8. Less than 4 to go, 57-38. Zook over to Inklen. Back up top to Reese. White pulls up and hits. Timeout. We'll take it with them. 60-38, 3:32 to go.
Welcome to basketball country.
Fox Primetime Hoops.
We got one for you tonight.
Saturday night is game night. Different energy.
Listen to this crowd.
Different stakes. Different gravity. Feel the weight of every possession. This is where teams learn what they're made of.
is electrifying.
And players find out if they're built for the moment. Virginia, Ohio State, Saturday, 8 Eastern on Fox.
Monday night just got a whole lot better.
With News 9 Sports on the go.
Live at Seven Ranges Entertainment.
Join Bill Phillips and Don Sloan for sports talk, half-price bowling, axe throwing, mini golf, and arcade games.
Join us here at Seven Ranges or watch us live on Fox 9 and the WTOV 9 digital platforms.
It's Monday Night Mayhem.
With News 9 Sports on the go. Monday nights at 7 live on Fox 9 and the WTOV 9 digital platforms.
I got it. The new Rat Chat AI. It's really smart. Ask it anything. Let's see. What's the Snowbird report for today?
What's that?
That's AI, animal intelligence, to be exact.
I'll tell you what's actually intelligent. It's the Snowbird Report on WTOV 9.
The Snowbird Report, sponsored by Cedar One Group, CA House Music, and First Choice America Community Federal Credit Union.
60-38, John Marshall leads Indian Creek. 3:32 to go in this one. Actually, 59-38, excuse me. 59-38 is your score.
Very balanced attack for John Marshall in this one. 3 girls in double figures. That's going to be a key down the stretch and into the postseason.
So 3:15 in rolling and a 59-38 ball game.
That 4 cross set again. Much better defense defending that by John Marshall that time.
Kleinsmith back out to Taylor. Taylor over to Kleinsmith. Has it deflected away. Another steal. This is Babicek back into the lineup. Babicek trying to hold that back foot, but she's got a little too sped up.
Yeah, she's laughing at herself about it too, but what a fourth quarter for her so far. A couple of steals, many offensive rebounds.
Laney Farmer checks in for Reese.
But on the other end, that was a little bit more of the Indian Creek we've come used to seeing this season with the ball movement. It really didn't stick in one person's hands or in one spot of the floor. As you're right there.
Nice look to Sadler. 59-40.
Yeah, prime example of it there. Of just the unselfishness of Indian Creek is going to be big for them as they move on.
Storm inside, Babicek. Babicek draws the foul on Crouch. Babicek to the line again.
I think the most impressive part of Riley Storm's game is their ability to affect it in multiple different ways. There you saw it in the passing. In the third quarter, you saw it with the shot-making ability. They also love to use her in the screen game as a screener as well to draw attention and open other people up. She just impacts the game on so many different levels, which is why you'll hear many coaches, every coach that she plays against will compliment her for that. She's a big part of why John Marshall has had the success they've had this season.
Babicek splits at the line. 60-40, 2:23 to go. Taylor. Over to Walker. Walker drives it. Will go to the line. She's got 20 points and a chance to add to that total. And this game was tied at 10 after a quarter. John Marshall up 24-17 at the half. Extended it to a 20-point lead after 3, and that's where we're at right now as Walker just off on the first try at the American Consolidated Natural Resources free throw line. Wiley back in for Taylor.
I think it's just been the length of John Marshall that's impacted Indian Creek the most. Both on the offensive side, they've just kind of been able to shoot over defenders. The offensive rebounding has been big for the Monarchs. And then on the defensive side, Creek has just never been comfortable because the Monarchs have such great length. It's impacted this game on both sides of the floor.
Oh, Storm, nice look. And a nice move by White to get free, and she scores it. Kaylee White with 16 points. 62-41.
Yeah, I've been impressed with John Marshall's unselfishness in this game. I mean, it's been on display all night long.
Long drop. Monarchs, the 4th-ranked team in West Virginia, 3A. Zook, nice look inside. Storm draws the foul. Storm with 17, a chance to add to that total. 16 for White and 15 for Reese. Babicek's added 6. First one, nothing but net for Riley. Storm, that's his grandfather, longtime boys head basketball coach here. We got a chance to talk to him before the game. Always good to talk to him. Babicek checks out along with White. So some new faces. It is Riley Storm. We'll take a break now as well.
What a night from her. I mean, she did everything on both sides of the floor. The help defense, the man-on-man defense, unselfishness play, the shot making in the third. A little bit of everything from Storm tonight.
A lot of new faces in there for the Monarchs. Lee Dykstra in there. Laney Farmer whistled for the foul. And the King in there. Redskins will inbound. Nearly stolen away. Getting a hand on it is Emma King. Redskins get it back. In and out. Put back. Try no good. Rebounded by Nia Miller. Laney Farmer with it. Dykstra inside. Look. Up and in for 2. Zook with the buckets. It's 66-41. Evelyn Leach in the ballgame for Indian Creek. Ball stolen away by Dykstra. Dykstra headed the other way, looking to lay it up and in. Just too strong. 23 seconds.
You love to see players come off the bench and be able to still make plays.
Off balance drawing. The foul going to the free throw line. Klein Smith.
The future is bright for her. She's going to be quite the player for Coach F as she moves up in the program here in years to come.
Costa Cozart also in that lineup here for Indian Creek. First try here from the free throw stripe is off the mark to Schwartz. 13.7 seconds left. Second free throw is good. Kleinsmith, 13 seconds to go. Monarchs about to pick up win number 14 on the season with 2 regular season games to go. Deep 3, it's good for Dykstra. At the buzzer, the sophomore ends it with the triple. 69-42, the final. We'll take a timeout. We'll wrap up the Monarchs' 14th win of the season. 69-42, the final.
I'm Jamie Bordas. At Bordas & Bordas, we don't just get great results for our clients, we also understand the 21st century. Your time is valuable, and you may find it hard to schedule an appointment with a lawyer. That's why you can go to our website and start the process 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll review your initial inquiry and get back to you quickly. Check it out at bordaslaw.com.
Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice.
Weather in the Ohio Valley can change.
In an instant, the Severe Weather Team 9 app will help you plan and prepare.
Before weather threatens, access storm tracking, interactive radar, and your futurecast.
Use Follow Me tracking to know exactly how the weather will affect you right where you are.
Every day, every season, every condition on every platform.
Download the Severe Weather Team 9 app today and be prepared before weather threatens.
Are you a weather nut? A bona fide weather enthusiast? Then the National Weather Desk is for you. 200 meteorologists explain, experience, and enlighten you about the weather. Watch the National Weather Desk.
Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. So game days are better. Girls' days are better. Even Mondays are better. Dupixent's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Some people felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark-colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
69-42 your final. The Monarchs 14-6 on the season. Indian Creek drops to 17-5 as they head to the postseason with a matchup at home with Meadowbrook next Thursday. Take a look at your highlights to wrap this one up. Big third quarter for Riley Storm. A couple of deep threes to get things rolling. She scored 13 in the third quarter, ended up with 19 on the game. Kaylin Reese in double figures with 15 points. Cadence Walker leading the way for Indian Creek. She scored 21. They extended the lead, the Monarchs did, to 20 points after 3 quarters of play. Kaylee White was also in double figures with 17 in this one. And Paisley Babachek working the boards. She was strong underneath in this one as they pull away, pick up the victory, 69-42. The JV warming up now. Thanks again to John Marshall for allowing us to be here tonight. The Junior varsity game after varsity this evening. Yeah. With the varsity matchup in the books, a 69-42 victory for the Monarchs, who will be home on Monday night for senior night against the Weir High Red Riders. For our entire hard-working crew, which brings all the action to you, and my partner, Tanner Mounts, it's his birthday. I'm Rob Metzger. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great night.
AMP Sales and Marketing Solutions, we execute fully integrated campaigns that turns awareness into action, placing your brand exactly where your audience is. From hyper-targeted digital to the impact of streaming and audio, we connect brands to consumers